Hey everyone, it's February, I'm Afton, and this month's yoga snack is for opening through your shoulders, chest, and ribcage. You'll need a blanket for this practice. If you don't have a blanket, then a towel will work just fine. Anything that you can roll up into this cylinder shape, I call it the yoga burrito, you'll use that to practice. We'll start by laying down on this burrito roll. And you're gonna lay with the very tips of your shoulder blades on the blanket. So come down, you might need to adjust to let your shoulder blades kind of catch them onto the blanket. That should be the very bottom tips of them, the very bottom points. And when you have it, lay your head down on the floor, let your arms come out to the side, and set your feet on the floor, knees up towards the ceiling. We're gonna let our feet be about hip width apart or wider than your hips. We're just gonna settle here for a minute. You might notice that this blanket roll is giving you a gentle lift, or it might not feel very gentle. If so, you can unroll your blanket a little bit and make the roll smaller. But the idea is to get this passive lift through your chest so that your muscles aren't doing the work. You'll find that this lift will stretch some of the muscles on the front side of your chest, your pectoral muscles, that might even go down into your bicep muscles. And your intercostal muscles are the muscles that are in between your rib cage that help your ribs expand every time you breathe. So you might feel a stretch through those on the front side of your ribs. See if you can soften the back muscles of the chest into the blanket. And we'll take a couple more breaths here, just allowing the body to settle into this chest lift in a passive way. Let your breath be smooth and slow. We'll be using the breath a lot in this practice to help to open, make space in the rib cage, your chest and your shoulders, but from the inside out. Let's start with some windshield wiper knees. You can start with small movement of the knees right and left, and then gently work into some bigger movements, rocking the back of your pelvis on the mat. You might feel a nice massage feeling through your glutes. But mostly we're taking our body into a twist. And again, because we're not standing up, we're letting the floor support us. These are passive twists. We'll just right and left with the knees. Feeling the stretch maybe now through your side ribs, those side intercostal muscles. Let's drop the knees over to the left and keep them there for a few breaths. Here our legs are pulling our pelvis to the left and giving us a gentle passive twist to the right through our spine and torso and shoulders. Let's see if you can allow that to happen by softening. Notice the stretch along the right side of your body, your torso, your rib cage. Relax your shoulders, try to relax through your jaw and neck. And a couple of deep breaths here. Inhaling to expand your ribs, and exhaling to soften your ribs. And let's bring the knees back up to the center, drop them over to the right now and leave them there. For a few breaths here, our legs are pulling our pelvis over to the right, and our spine and torso and shoulders are now twisting to the left. You might feel the stretch now up the left side of your torso. A couple of deep breaths here, inhaling to expand and exhaling to soften through the rib cage. Stay relaxed through your neck and your shoulders and your jaw. And if it's possible, we'll keep the breath moving in and out by the nose. Let's take one more nice big breath here, letting the breath take up space in your body. And exhale, let it soften. You can roll over to your side, use your hands to push yourself up. We're gonna now sit on this blanket roll. Okay, so you're gonna sit your hips on it, maybe a cross-legged position or whatever feels comfortable for you. And we'll do some skin gliding. You're gonna take your left hand over to your right chest. Okay, we're gonna hold the skin there, take your right hand out to the right arm out to the right, turn your thumb up towards the ceiling. You're gonna inhale and slice your thumb back behind you as you take your arm back, holding the skin of your chest in place. You'll inhale, take the hand back to its original position. Good, we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, take the arm back, slice the thumb back. Exhale, arm back to the side. And as you do this, try to hold the skin of your chest in place. And this allows for some gliding of your skin over your right chest, right shoulder, and even the right bicep. Good. Let's drop that right hand down. Now you're gonna drop your left ear to your left shoulder, still now pulling onto the skin of your right chest. This time we're pulling down, away from the top of your shoulder, your upper trapezius. Maybe you feel a nice stretch here through the skin of your neck. We're not cranking into a big neck stretch here. I like for this to be just moving the skin over the muscles, gliding the tissue, so there's some freedom there. Let's inhale, head back up. We'll take now right hand over the left chest skin. Take the left arm out, left thumb up. You'll inhale, take the arm back, slice the thumb back. Exhale, bring it back forward. Good, 2 more. Inhale, holding the skin there, letting the skin glide over the left arm and shoulder. Good, and last one. Inhale, the arm back. Exhale, the arm forward. Drop that left arm down. And now we'll pull down on the left side chest skin. Let your right ear drop to your right shoulder. And a couple of nice deep breaths, just feeling the pull of the skin over the muscles. Almost like your muscles and skin could move separate of each other. Okay, 1 more breath here. Good, bring that head back up. Now you're gonna clasp your hands behind your back. Okay? If you can't quite clasp your hands, grabbing your elbows or your forearms or even your wrists behind your back will work just fine. Okay? If you can't clasp your hands, gently pull your knuckles away from your lower back and move your arm towards a straight position. They don't have to go all the way straight. The idea here is to get the arms to move back behind you, maybe sliding the shoulder blades a little closer behind your back and getting a little lift through the front of your chest. See if you can lift your sternum up towards the ceiling without lifting the chin up. Keep your head straight, just getting a little lift through the front of the chest here. We'll breathe a couple of breaths. As you inhale, feel your sternum lift up and away from your chest. And as you exhale, let the ribs soften down, let your breastbone drop back down. We'll take 2 more breaths like that. Inhaling over the front of your chest, creating space there. And exhaling, let the ribs drop, let your sternum drop. Good, 1 more. Inhaling to lift the breastbone up. And exhaling to let the breastbone drop, ribs drop. Good, now unclasp your hands. Take your hands together in front of your chest now. Interlace your fingers. You're gonna turn your palms away from you. Tuck your chin to your chest. Imagine you're holding an orange between your chin and your chest and squeeze it. You activate some front throat muscles here. Okay, start to push your hands forward and take your front ribs back behind you. Good, concaving the front of the chest. Then keep squeezing the orange between your chin and chest. Pull your belly button back, really rounding your spine forward here. Now we're gonna take a few breaths into your backside lungs, your back chest, inhaling wide into your back ribs. As you exhale, pull your belly button in towards your spine. Push your hands forward. Good, inhaling that spot right between the shoulder blades. Can you expand there? And exhale, pull your belly button in. And 1 more breath here, inhaling, wide through your back ribs. And exhaling, squeeze your imaginary orange, pull your belly button in. Good, let's take an inhale, raise your arms up towards the ceiling, make your spine nice and long. Good, as you exhale, you can drop your right hand down and bend over to the right. Keep your left palm, facing up towards the ceiling, and a small bend in this left elbow to help lift your left rib cage up. We're gonna do some dips here. Inhale to come up straight, and exhale to dip over to the right. Good, inhale to come up straight. Exhale to dip over to the right. Try to keep your hips still and only move your upper body. Good. This last one, we'll dip over to the right. Now take your right hand to your left rib cage, just underneath your armpit, and we're gonna breathe right underneath our hand. So inhale to fill up the space underneath your hand, widening through your left ribs. Exhale to soften that space. Good, inhale again, widening through your left rib cage, inhaling into your left lung. And exhale to soften that space. We'll do one more breath like that. Inhale as big as you can under your right hand, left side expanding. And exhale to soften that space. Good, use an inhale to bring spine straight. And now we'll dip over to the left, right arm up. So bend in the right elbow to lift that right rib cage up. Flip your right palm up towards the ceiling so it's facing up. Good, we'll do some dips. Inhale to come up straight. And exhale, dip over to the left. Good, keep your pelvis in one spot. Try not to move the pelvis or hike the hips. Just trying to get the movement in the upper body, the rib cage. Good, last one. Dip over to the left. Good, now take your left hand to your right rib cage and breathe. Big breaths into the right lung. Exhale, soften that space. Good, big deep breath underneath your left palm, right rib cage expanding. Exhale, relax that area. One more, inhaling, we're stretching the intercostal muscles again. And exhale, let them soften. Good, inhale, come back up to the center. And the last thing that we're gonna do here is called Anahata. So you can take your blanket out of the way. Let me get it out of the frame here. Okay? And you'll sit in a kneeling position. You can have your knees as close or as wide as you need them. And you're going to walk your hands forward and let your bum lift up off of your heels. So ideally you want your thighs parallel to the, not parallel, perpendicular to the floor. Okay, 90-degree angle in your knees. Then you're gonna drop your forehead to the floor. Keep your arms at least shoulder width distance, if not a little bit wider than that. Palms flat. And from here, you're trying to melt your chest or your heart down towards the mat. You'll feel a stretch through your armpits, your front ribs here. Let your tail curl up towards the ceiling. Good. Now you might feel like you're pretty open through your chest and shoulders. You have a lot of mobility there. You can bring your chin forward and you can set your chin on the mat too. But for most of us, especially if you work at a computer a lot, having the forehead on the floor is just fine for this big heart opener, letting your heart melt down towards the mat. Your tail curl up towards the ceiling. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Try to take up a lot of space in your rib cage with your breath. And exhale, let your ribs relax, maybe drawing your belly button in. Good, one more nice big breath. Take up a lot of space with your inhale. And as you exhale, let the ribs soften towards the floor. Tail curl up towards the ceiling. Good. Use your hands to walk yourself back up into a seated position. And from here, I'd like you to just sit comfortably, whether that's in a kneeling position or sitting cross-legged, and just notice the space in your chest that you created. Right? We didn't work for very long, but it was pretty effective, a lot of the work that we did. I'm gonna take 3 breaths, just feeling the circumference of the rib cage expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, letting the ribs soften back into the middle. Okay, we'll take 3 breaths. Inhaling wide into your ribs, try front and back and both sides, getting bigger. And exhaling to let them soften back towards the center. Good, nice big inhale, wide through the circumference of your whole rib cage. And exhale to let it soften. And last breath here, inhaling nice and big, all sides of your chest, front, back, back, both sides. Exhale, let your jaw soften, let your shoulders soften. And that's your yoga snack for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you for the next one.